It's the first day. Fresh Dev Friday is finally here. That was a lot of alliteration, actually. So here's how today is going to work. If you remember shows that I had previously, like Mosh's Live and other guest shows, when we had friends on, the show will work like there we go, like most of our shows, like those shows did. The important parts is that we won't necessarily be responding to chat while we're talking. That's out of respect with the guest, who are a group of game development students from Full Sail. Super excited to talk about the game and the program and Twitch and game industry. But we're not going to respond too much to chat. We're not going to do any shout outs of alerts or anything like that. And most of the audio cues are shut off. Just, again, out of respect, not to interrupt the flow of chat or disrupt the program. I will acknowledge all that stuff at the very end, but not now. That's pretty much it. To describe the show real quick, Fresh Dev Friday was an idea that I've been working on for a long time, and there's a school that I graduated from called Full Sail University. It's in Florida. Basically, it's a game development school. That's one of the many aspects of the school. I think there's like 12 now. When I went, there was maybe 3. So they have game development, they have game design, they had computer animation. I think they have a software program or something like that now. The idea is that students bring their game on the show. We're going to test out their game a little bit, but that's the main aspect, is getting to know the developers, getting to know their process, lessons learned from the time spent developing the game. And my most interesting topic is where you guys going next. So we're going to get to all that kind of stuff, and then we're going to check out the game at the end. If you have questions for them, you can feel free to post in the chat. But when I say, hey, does anyone have any questions? It'd be better to bring those in at that point, since I will not remember them. Nor will I probably be watching chat, so remember them. That's it in terms of logistics. Let's go chat with these guys. They are on the call, and I'll have my notes ready to vigorously write down everything. Give me just a sec. Okay, I think you guys are on now.
Oh, hello.
Hey! All right, there you are. Good. Everything's working. So I sort of described the show a little bit. I've described it to you guys. You guys are students. And I think graduating like on today. When are you graduating?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay. So basically, I have some of your information above the screen, and you guys that are watching can take notes, as these will be the next developers that develop, Elder Scrolls 10 or whatever the hell the number is. So that would be good contact information to write down, but that'll be displayed on the screens today. I think probably it's important to start with introductions. So if you guys want to go ahead and just say, hey, I'm this person.
All right. My name is Wes Chambers.
I'm Christian Bradley.
I'm Sebastian Those Files.
Dylan Bennett.
Cool. Awesome. And did you guys work on, because I remember when I went there, we each had to develop kind of a different part of the game. Like there was one person that did an engine thing and one person that did like a sound thing. Did you guys do all that stuff, or did you each kind of have a specific role, I guess?
It kind of started off that way, where we all had our own thing to do. And then after a couple of months, it just blended to where we were all basically general programmers, and we would be helping each other with everything. But we each do have big sections of it that we were pretty much the authors of.
Cool. And you guys are all game development students, or the game design program? I know that got split after I left that school.
So we're all game developer students.
Okay. And just to be clear, if I'm saying it correctly, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that the game development students are the students that basically they have to code the whole game engine and everything from scratch, instead of using like third-party tools, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. Did you guys at least get to use like when I was there and we did that, we had a sound person that would do some of the sounds and some of the art stuff? Did you have that, or did you have to do all that stuff on your own too?
We met with several sound groups. They never contacted us back, so we kind of had to find a lot.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I think it came down to for some reason, we were doing like a Mario Party game, and that didn't really interest a lot of the other people that were in Final Project. They were looking towards like the hack and slash games and the other stuff. So we were kind of left to our own devices for all of that.
Wow, that's actually a really interesting topic about Mario Party games versus the rest of the games. Like a party game versus what might, what may or may not be the super popular title at the moment. So the game is called, as you see below their panel, Dario Fiesta, which I assume is a play on Mario Party.
Yeah.
So I guess let me start with the details of the game. Mario Party, multiplayer game. I'm thinking in my head mini games and just sort of high score wins type of thing. Is that sort of the gist?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it's for, I have the installer and the game on my PC, but you guys do you do console stuff there? Like, can you make a game for Xbox, or is that like an after the life of the development process that you port it or whatever?
I don't even think we've really thought about that.
I think if you go here though, I mean, they full well would let you release it on whatever you want, but that's
Yeah.
going to be probably after graduation, and you're doing it yourself.
Okay,
Well, I mean,
gotcha.
We could have actually did it for Steam and stuff like that, because he was already asking, like that wasn't part of the development plan, but we weren't actually real focused on releasing it. We were trying to focus on making sure we actually were able to make it.
Gotcha. And you guys have been working on the game for like game development that the final, what's it called? It's called Capstone now, I think. The developer, the chairman was saying the Capstone
Yeah.
project. Oh, okay. And is that like 6 months, or how long is that?
4 months.
Yeah.
So you made a complete game with the engine and everything in 4 months. Oh my god. It takes forever.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you guys have that midway program where it's sort of like you make a baby game halfway through the time that you're at Full Sail still?
Yeah.
That's
There we get to use Unity though, so it was definitely a little bit easier.
you get to use what? Oh, Unity is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume that'd probably make things a little easier. That's is that what the game design program does? They're allowed to use things like Unity, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Like in their Capstone project as well.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, so tell me about why a Mario Party game. Like, why was that idea of all the ideas possible, the idea to go with?
Well, really, it was Sebastian. He was obsessed with it from like the time right after we were in midterm project. That's all he would talk about, and he actually the name was decided pretty much before we even thought we were going to do it.
Yeah, so pretty much when we were on the expo for midterm project, Christian and I saw some other group. We didn't even know if they were final project, midterm, or even professors, or we didn't know. And they were playing a party game, and we had the same idea at the same time. It was like, we should make a Mario Party game for the final project. And then, like, after some months, it was like a reality. We were like, yeah, we should really develop this idea for the final project.
I for sure was telling him that I didn't want to do Mario Party like the whole time.
Did was the latest Mario Party out at that time when you came up with it, or you just kind of liked Mario Party forever and then the new one kind of came out?
No, it was before it was even before the new one was announced. It was around February, I think, and I used to play it a lot on the GameCube, and apparently he did too. And Wes have never played Mario Party, and we kind of like got him into playing a few games before he accepted the idea.
Nice. Yeah, that game is like I mean, that's like a console seller, right? Like people don't buy the Switch until Mario Party comes out, kind of thing. If Zelda didn't already sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the latest one too. I play with my daughter all the time. She loves that game. That game's a really fun party game. So when you guys first started, I kind of know, I mean, I pretend like I know the design process. I graduated from the school, but I have not worked in the game industry. But so when we started, I remember back in the day we had, oh, just by the way, my final project game was like a multiplayer Marble Madness game. So like marbles would run into each other on some weird platform that exploded. It was really weird. But so I remember we had this list of ideas, like we're gonna have 15 different levels and we're gonna have 6 different ball types. They're all gonna have different properties and all this stuff. I'm assuming you guys probably ran into that too, especially with Mario Party, because I'm sure it's like, here's the list of 50 mini games we want to have.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We had, I think, 10 mini games originally planned out, a whole bunch of other features for the actual board game portion of it. as it got down to it, we were like, we can't implement this in time and polish everything else. Like, all right, we're just gonna cut it here and make sure everything is good.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And that kind of mimics the real world too, right? And like in the game industry, there's time constraints, and publishers are, the game goes out on this day, so I don't care what else happens. So,
Yeah.
So do you is there is it up to the group itself, or is it like an advisor role or something where someone has to notice feature creep or notice that, hey, your timeline is coming too soon and you have too much stuff to do, you need to cut something? Does that exist, or was that just you guys had to figure that out kind of within the group?
I mean, we have weekly builds. So for the 4 months period, every week we have to put a build on the testing server, which is where we are right now. And the professors, and they play the game and test it out, and then they give feedback to us.
But to add to that, I think that they kind of let us make our own path so that we find ourselves in our own pitfalls. If we have feature creep, they're going to let us hit that like head on ourselves and have to make decisions about it, so that it's just us naturally finding out about all the stuff that is going to exist out in the professional world.
That is awesome. I
It's
assume.
scary. Yeah, it's scary.
So do you guys have, I mean, you probably have milestones you have to meet. You're talking about you have to have a build every week, but I'm assuming that, at some X interval along the development process, there's like, okay, now you need, I don't know what the name is, like a blue build and then a red build, or, or whatever it's called.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah, we had something similar to that. Like they have like a minimum requirement, like okay, it's kind of what is expected for them. I think.
Oh yeah,
And
each
then
one.
we kind of based our milestones. I'm gonna start working on this, and I'm gonna log it on Trello and stuff, so they can actually kind of see each week what we're getting done and making progress on. And then we would like move it over so they can check it off and build.
So it's like the regular process. Because I know that agile is this crazy buzzword right now. Does that at all apply to your development process?
No, we
Probably
don't
not.
do agile.
Yeah.
Because that's like
It's
you
kinda
guys have a
chaos.
whiteboard of sticky notes and things on it that have to get done today, like that kind of crap.
That's a lot more accurate. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I remember when we went, we ended up finishing we finished our game just sitting around someone's living room and coding on our laptops for like 6 days straight to finish it. Is that kind of accurate to how the development process has gone?
The last
More
couple of days.
recently, yeah,
Yeah.
we were good till like 2:30 a.m. on Wednesday.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Kind of make the final build and be able to fix bugs and make things look more finalized as a complete product.
So
Yeah, just-
that's another good question. Bug testing. A lot of times, big firms have dedicated QA teams that you hand them a build and they go test it and make a list of bugs. Are you guys doing that all on your own, or you were saying that some of the professors come in and they'll check out the game and give you feedback? I'm assuming they probably don't have time to bug test your stuff. So is that kind of up to you to play through and find all the mistakes, or?
Probably yes to both.
I think a majority of the bugs that are the ones that we'll find, but then they also try to break the game when they're grading it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
that helped because then they were able to like, we didn't think of something, so then they find it in the game. Oh, find that.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. The so you guys had, is this is the one I have the final build, or you still got some work to do before Tuesday?
There's a couple of bugs. There's like one or two bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fixed. That's pretty much
That's
fine.
basically the final build.
Oh, okay, cool. And on Tuesday, when you said you graduate, is the graduation the one where you go to whatever that building was and do the presentation, and it's just like a PowerPoint deal, and then you graduate, or what is that?
That's on Monday. They kind of changed the format from that whole PowerPoint kind of thing to being like a kind of like a showroom, and like you have a bunch of different.
We have both.
Yeah, the
The showcase.
presentation should be today, and yeah, we have to present to all the other teams and the faculty and show our game. And then on Monday it's the game expo where people come and they can play the games.
But at the expo, there's no presentation or anything like it used to be. I'm assuming you had to give a presentation in front of a bunch of people at the expo thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's Am I thinking of that correctly? Is a game expo kind of like what you'd see if you went to? I mean, a lot of anyone watching will relate to what TwitchCon is, where there's like booths and things, and they have their game demos up, and you could sit and play. Is it kind of like that, where people could talk to developers and check out the game?
Yeah.
That's really awesome, because that gives you guys probably some real experience for what will happen next, especially if you go to an indie studio. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, I talked to a lot of indie developers and things like that, and publishers that go to these indie sort of all different kinds of conferences. And it's funny because one of the conferences I just went to in April, I don't know why I said just, was Replay FX, and it's a pinball convention. And it's like the biggest one in the world, I guess. But they had an indie developer section, and I ended up talking to a bunch of guys there. And it was just so cool to see, here's a pinball convention, and now here's a bunch of smaller game developers trying to market their game and trying to get feedback on it. It was really neat. So that Game Expo, I think I might have heard that from Haifa when I was chatting with her on the phone, that's the new format now. And I really liked it when I heard it. It sounds awesome. I would be psyched to do that.
I was way more psyched to do that than to stand up in front of all those people and strangers and parents and give a presentation. I'd much rather show the game to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more the speed of developers, right? The marketing people handle the presentation stuff.
For sure.
Okay. What was my next thing? Oh, lessons learned. I don't know if you guys have to have this as a part of your presentation. I think that most industries do after projects. I work in the aerospace and sort of DoD world, and we do out briefs and lessons learned every second, even like sometimes not at the end of projects. But
Oh, wow.
do you guys have to do something like that for the final project? Is that like an included portion of slides that you have to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like more of a what went right, what went wrong.
Right.
But pretty much the same thing.
So what went right in the development process?
What went wrong? Oh,
What went right? Sorry, did it like...
Yeah.
I think the first thing that went right was like we got in here and we were focused and we got a lot of stuff done in like a short amount of time, and it set us up really well for the rest of the project. And I know we just made a list.
Okay, so I'm actually a month behind them. So they're going to graduate on Tuesday and I graduate the following month. So I was still in the engine development class while they were already working on Final Project. And so in that class, I started working on animations for 3D models and exporting animation files from FBX and stuff like that. And so
Jeez.
we were kind of talking about like what we were going to need. And so when I was in that class, I went ahead and started building my own system because I knew I was going to join them. And so I was easily able to bring that over as soon as I joined, and we were able to implement it, and that set us, I feel like, leagues ahead of some of these other teams because they're still working on getting animations done. We had it done as soon as I was in.
Oh, that's that's awesome. That early prep or those design tools that you can use, if you have that done before time, that probably saves a ton of time, which is, I guess, probably why development companies or game companies reuse engines, right? Like it probably cuts their development time in half in some ways.
I can imagine rebuild the engine for every single game.
Right, which is actually a really funny hot topic because I think that who was it? Bethesda just announced previously that the engine for Elder Scrolls will be the same as the last one. I think they just came out and said that, or at some point in the recent past. So what went wrong in terms of small things or huge, catastrophic things?
I can speak for myself with, it's a Mario Party game, so you have a tile system basically that you can move around the board and make decisions on where you want to go. And I jumped on that. I wanted to be able to make it huge burst around the board. And what went wrong for me was not even the implementation, but the design of it. Like I designed what I thought was a good system, and then maybe a month down the road when I finally got to adding the last parts to it, I found out that I had created all kind of corners that I packed myself into, and it really took a lot to be able to figure out how to fix all those things. And now it's just like, it's a smorgasbord of random stuff to make it work, but it would have went a lot better in the beginning if I just sat down for like 2 hours and mapped out all the possible situations that would have happened.
It's like, you guys don't take? Do you take a system engineering course while you're there, like UML or something like that? Do you still do that?
I don't even know what you mean.
Oh, I was just wondering because that it's funny because that problem of, and that, by the way, what you're describing is the sort of not necessarily a lack, but looking back on it, it's like if I would have spent more time, planning, we could have had something faster, better, earlier. That is probably the most common problem in all of software development or product design in general. We just in my field, I work in system engineering, so that's my job is to plan all that. And if it's not planned to some certain amount, then the development collapses or we run over budget by like $1 billion. So, yeah, it could be it's definitely a problem, and definitely that's a really good one and what went wrong. What about like, because when we were going, some of the lessons learned we heard back then were team didn't work too well together. We had a teammate didn't do too well. You guys have been just the four of you on the team the whole time?
Yeah, but I think that was a problem because us three, we met on the midterm project. So we had a really good relationship when we got to this point. Like it's been like 1 year since we met.
Oh, okay.
And that's something that doesn't happen with other teams, that it's more like, oh, you got to the final project and there's these other people that also got here. Okay, now you're in a team together. Like we already had the team set months before getting to the final project.
That's a good one. The team cohesion would be super rough, especially in a quick sprint. I mean, I say quick, but 4 months or whatever it is, that's pretty freaking quick. So, and I know that some personalities do not work well with other personalities in a lot of different fields. So that's awesome to hear that everyone was kind of together already.
Mm-hmm.
What about like missed deadlines, slipped deadlines, anything like that? Or I know we talked a little bit about feature stuff and you had to cut a couple of ideas for mini games out, but anything like we don't have enough for this build ready and kind of what contributed to that, or we were pretty set because of some pre-development time?
I'm pretty sure we were pretty set. We were always able to hit kind of all the things we were looking for. There were some times we were like, we ran into a bug, like especially with the tile system, like all of us trying to figure that out. We can't put this, we finished this time, but we still had all the other stuff we were working on that we would implement. It was usually like one or two things that would come down to like, this isn't going to work the way it's supposed to for this one build. But other than that, all of our deadlines have been pretty much on time every time.
That's awesome. Is that, go ahead. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was just gonna say, on top of that, it was mostly like we were trying to fix something that was game breaking, like the tile system. So it ended up preventing him or whoever was working on it from progressing on other tasks they had done. So we had to backlog those and put them in for the next week. So that was just kind of.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. So it's sort of a missed pre-planning opportunity turns into things getting pushed back that were like on the schedule of, hey, next week we're working on this, and then everything sort of gets pushed down. I see what you're saying. And that also is probably like the second most common problem in general game development, I bet. Let me think. Bugs are bugs. I mean, they are kind of just things that exist in every game. I mean, Jesus, I'd said to you guys in an email, I have Black Ops 4 on my system right now. It crashes every other day. It's a $300 million game or whatever it took to build that game. So small bugs that crash games are common everywhere. If you guys could go back to the beginning of the development process, now that you've seen the work that it took to do this game, would you, besides having a different experience, would you do the same type of game again? You think you'd make the same decision? Or is this one, you started it and all of a sudden it's like, wow, this is a lot harder than we thought kind of thing?
I think that I would choose the same thing. I think each one of us got to learn something that we were pretty much afraid of that we didn't. Because I don't know, I just don't think that I would choose something else. It's the better option of any other type of game I think we could do.
And I think that's because like 2 weeks before starting Final Project, we sat down and we had like 3 different games ideas. And this one was like, we already knew this one wasn't going to be as hard because it's just making different small games into one big game. So there's not much that can go wrong with that.
Yeah. I just thought of something and I lost it in the last like 5 seconds. What was I just gonna say? It, it's so close. It's it doesn't matter. Okay, so what about after this? I know when I when I finished the program, there was some talk about some guys were taking it, because I remember one of the games in my class was like a GTA type game that was pretty cool, and then there was another game that was like a Star Fox game, I think, some kind of space shooter game. I don't remember completely, but in terms of the game, not necessarily individual career options, which could be a next topic. Do you see the game continuing after the project? Because I think from what I heard from Hi-Fi, I believe that you guys kind of own the IP or whatever, the knowledge or the code base of the game because you made it. So is a continued development of this game something that you're interested in?
I think we're definitely interested in it. It just depends on what happens like after the actual graduation. I think we'll all help Dylan finish it up in his, but it just depends on where we're at. If we further that along afterwards.
Oh God, yeah, that just dawned on me what you just said. So you're a year behind, or a month behind, or whatever it is. So in your final project, this is still your final, like this game is still what you'll present at the end of next, what is it, month? Next month?
Yeah, the December 14th, so like less than a month, something like that.
Oh, that's pretty unique. Is that a common thing at the game development school there? To split a month like that?
I think
There's been some other teams that do it.
Okay.
It hasn't been like every single team doing that.
Okay.
Most of just kind of going whatever they think sounds interesting, I guess. If there's enough content for it.
So what is left on your plate then for the next month? Like what do you guys, you said you were going to help them out for the next month or whatever after you're done. Is there like some kind of polished stuff you want to add on, or just fixing a couple of bugs, or?
Yeah, I think that's really what it's going to come down to. They're not really huge game-breaking things, but it's just kind of like a quality of life, making the game look and feel better. And whatever else the teachers think I need to do to help make it, to improve it. And then the most difficult part will probably be like, oh, I need to fix this, but I'm not entirely sure how your code works for importing all of the assets.
Oh, yeah.
How that works. But that's pretty much it. I don't really think there's going to be huge game changes that come along in the final one.
Right, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Nor would there be time for, I mean, technically one person to do it, right? I mean, you guys can help, but technically it's him doing it, kind of. Mm-hmm. So kind of a side topic about, because it just reminded me of the expo. I know a lot of the developers that go and present their games at expos have take-home material and things like that. Did you guys have to develop, it's kind of a multi-part question. When I went, we had to develop that big game design doc. It was like 80 pages or something with pictures and all that stuff. Do you guys still have to do that?
Yeah, for sure. That was like the first month. Yeah. The first week, first month is just design.
That was like my favorite part of the course. I loved making that book. I don't know why. I loved all the pictures and writing everything about the code. But so when you guys go to the expo, are you expected to sort of do, not necessarily like a mock interview, but almost like a mock, you're trying to sell the game to the other expo goers, and you have like some kind of material, whether that be a business card or material about the game or something like that, or is this more just you can come play the game and that's it kind of thing?
It's kind of like the second part. You can have those other things, business cards and stuff like that, for showing people, but it's not really required.
Okay. And is the expo open to the public, or is it just you guys?
No,
yeah, anyone can come.
Yeah. It's the public, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Is that right at Full Sail, or is that like held someplace nearby?
It's right at
Full Sail Live.
Yeah.
Full Sail Live. That's like the big presentation building, right? Like where they put on the shows and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. God, I'm so jealous we didn't get to do an expo. I'm writing a letter. I'm gonna re-enroll just so I could do the expo part. So, okay, what are your, and we could do individually if you want, or collectively, that's fine as well. But one part I'm super interested in is what you guys are doing next. And I think a lot of people are probably interested in that as well. After going through the development process and being in the school for, I forget how long, is it 2 years?
Roughly, yeah.
Do you still have a taste for game development, or do you kind of go through it and then go, you know what, I got a lot out of it, and I appreciate everything, but that's not the path for me. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of something else. What do you guys sort of feel about that?
Well, I'm definitely interested still in game development. I have a much better understanding of what it is, and I think that maybe this whole process will make me a little skittish to make my own game by myself in the future if I can't be Unreal. But I think that what this has taught me is that I enjoy programming. So I would love to get a game working, or a job working on games, but I have no problem doing anything pretty much.
Also currently going on with the job.
I do, yeah. We've all been interviewing pretty much since month 2, trying to figure out what we can do, if anything. And I interviewed with a company in Nevada, and they pretty much make the games for like casinos and slot machines and stuff like that. And I'll be starting up there in December.
That's awesome. That's a big market, casino games like that. That's great to hear.
I just think it'd be awesome, even if I don't want to retire from doing that. It'd be awesome to get in there and get experience and be able to move off onto something else if I need to.
For sure, yeah. What about you guys?
Well, my goal is to go back home to Maryland. I've been trying to apply to like a lot of the game companies that I find there, like Bethesda, any like the ZeniMax Online, big huge games and stuff like that. I haven't really gotten anywhere with those. I've been also applying to practically any and everything that's software engineering related that I think I can do. Haven't really gotten anywhere with that yet either. I think it might just be the time of year for my state at least. But I definitely, my preferred field would be able to get into the game field, be able to be part of the development process.
Do you guys, to sort of stop you right there, do you guys have, Full Sail still do some kind of like resume building course or something like that?
Yeah.
I think we took something like that in my last month or something.
Yeah,
Yes, we have career development.
Oh, okay. And there's something like because I never used it, but I know that it exists at Full Sail in some capacity. I have a friend that works in the office that it's something like they help you do career placement or something. Is it the alumni program that does that or something like that?
I think it might be the alumni program and them like together.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's definitely resources out there to help with that stuff too.
That's where my job came from, for sure. They came up here to the studio. Who wants to interview? I for sure wanted to.
Yeah, nice. All right, what about you? What do you think?
Well, for me, my original plan was to continue my studies after graduating. But when I got to the final project, I really loved the experience. And I was like, okay, I want to get a job at the game industry because I really like this. I really like doing builds every week, working with a team, getting the game, playing the game. It's fun because you're like, oh, I made this. I can show this to other people and be proud of that. And well, right now I'm planning on moving to Spain and try to get a job in there. And if it doesn't work out, I'll come back. But I would really love to get a job in the game industry. But if that doesn't happen, I don't have any troubles in getting any software programming job.
Yeah.
As I really enjoy programming, as I love making games.
Right. That's awesome. And do you have a month left? And then what do you think?
So after my month, my plan, I'm from Austin, Texas, so I'm planning on moving back home, trying to find some jobs around there. Same thing, like I really enjoy programming, so I'm hoping I get some start at a game company potentially, and I've applied to a lot of companies in like Dallas and Austin. Had some callbacks and never heard anything, so that's always good.
Yeah, I don't know about I don't know what the influx of applications is. It might be huge. I know that obviously, like in most industries, the most important thing is who you know, because it's so easy to know someone inside an industry and be like, "Yo, can you give him my resume?" Like, then that bypasses about 600 resumes. But that's awesome. I know the Austin area is huge with game development right now. I have several friends that are in that area doing games. I think one of them might be EA Online, and then another one is some company. I don't remember. But that's awesome. So I remember when we were going through school, and just so my personal story started, I graduated and then I had bills to pay. So I had to get a job like right away. And I went to go work. I took an interview in Jersey with a DoD contractor, and then this is the path that I've been on. So I kind of went like what some of you guys are saying, where it'd be great to work for a game company. If I don't, I could still write software, which is kind of the path I went, basically. I think that's a story with a lot of people. I think my class was split a little bit. The ones I still talk to are mostly in the game industry. There's probably like 10 or 12 that are in the game industry working now for like 10 years. One of them graduated the animation program and did animation for The Last of Us. So that's the one I'm super excited about. Like, oh, look, she made that level. Jeez, I forgot where I was going again. No, I remember what I was going to say. So when we were in class, they sort of, they talk about how it's really cool to make your own game and to come up with your own idea. But when you work at a big studio, the ideas are never decided by the developers, right? I mean, the developers maybe have some kind of input, but the game you're making is decided by marketing people that determine that this game will make the most amount of money at this time. Usually that's how it goes, unless it's a crazy popular franchise that's like an off-brand hit or something. So you kind of have to deal with the reality of what if you never get to develop your idea again, kind of thing. So are you guys cool with that? Like at some point we just sort of say it's a job and maybe I can work up to a certain position where I can have influence over a title or over some sort of like an aspect of the game that I think is cool and I can influence that. Or because I know a lot of people that are really stuck on I really want to develop my idea and I have the best idea. They do indie stuff or they develop their own studio or they work outside on mobile games and they develop their own game, which is successful as well. I mean, Jesus, Minecraft was started by one guy. I guess that's a reality you have to deal with. I guess that's not necessarily a question, and nor am I a game industry expert, by the way. So you can just say, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about and just ignore what I'm saying. That's how it goes in a lot of industries, though, not just the game industry. Is there are higher-ups that make decisions, and that's not you, basically.
I think if I wanted, because when you decide to come to when development and design was in one thing.
Yeah.
With ours, it was always separated in game design and game development. Like, really, you made a choice. If you're the ideas guy, then you probably went the game design route. When we go to game development, they still the whole way through development. Like, they don't teach you necessarily a lot of game design, but you're supposed to build on that yourself. What I learned about myself, though, is that I have some ideas, but I want to talk to like a team of people and bounce stuff back and forth. And through working on a team, as opposed to like saying my idea is the only one that should be, I really think that I'm not somebody that wants to build my own thing. I want to be a part of a team that makes something.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about the split of design and development. That's a really good point. I guess I was looking at it from a perspective when I graduated. Yeah, the design would be more of the working up with the creative ideas for it, and then someone else kind of implements it in a way. You know, the design students do some things, but yeah, the engine builders and things are the guys in the nitty gritty code pieces that make everything happen. So that's a good point. Like you chose the development program because that's what you wanted to do. So that makes sense. You guys have a different perspective or a better perspective on it than I would. If you could choose a place to work, of all the places to work, is it you want to build the next greatest casino game of all time, or maybe it's some kind of new title for Bethesda what company would you think you'd want to work at? Like a big AAA company? Or are you thinking more you get into an indie place and you come up with a hit and then it grows from there, like that kind of thing? Like what's your ideal situation?
I know mine immediately, who I would want to work for at least. I think it would have been different 6 months ago. It's changed quite a lot, but I think that if the dream company that I would work for would be Santa Monica from Sony. I would really love to be a part of whatever sequel they're making. Like that, I don't know. I'm sure you've heard a lot, or you've heard about the game in the very least. But that game really kind of reignited me and made me put more effort into the project that we were doing. Just seeing like, you see a lot of games that come out and a lot of stuff, and it just doesn't feel like it's made for the player. And then that game comes out. It was entirely from the very beginning meant just for one person to sit down and enjoy the entire experience, and that's all that they meant for it to happen. That's the kind of place that I want to be a part of.
Yeah, you cut out there for just a second, but I heard Santa Monica and Sony, and then I went and checked online, and I assumed that you were talking about God of War.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, oh, we're caught up now. Okay, I gotcha. No, that's no, I totally get that. That's a good call. That focuses on a game like that. What about the rest of you?
Me trying to go back home, I definitely wanted to be able to work for Bethesda. Because I like the way they make these massive open world games that really, even in the massive world that they built, like the story really all connects every part of the entire map and every part of the universe, like very, very well. And that's something going forward I'd like to be able to do, because somewhere down the line in the future, I'd like to be able to open my own studio. So that's something I feel like I would be able to learn a lot from them, and how they really connect like this story even when the world is so big.
Have you played Fallout 76?
Not yet, no.
I haven't either. I was just wondering. And yeah, go ahead.
For me, I think I would rather work on any AAA studio, because I don't know, the working in an indie studio that gets big out of one game, that seems like, I don't know, doesn't seem like it's for me. And as long as like either small or big team of people that know each other and work well together, I think I will enjoy it. So.
For myself, I've always been a really huge fan of like World of Warcraft and Diablo. So Blizzard would definitely be one of my top picks. Unfortunately, their main location is not where I'm trying to move back home to Austin. So I've kind of been trying to narrow down a lot of my stuff, and even expanded to like Dallas, and looked at places like id and Gearbox and places like that. Those kind of games, those studios.
There was the first class in the game development program when I went was something to do with story design. I don't remember if that is that still the same thing? Like that's where we learned about the game design document or whatever. Okay, well, there was this class that was about that, where you sort of have to write a story and you start building your design document. And the teacher of the class, I don't remember his name. He was one of my favorite teachers, and this is back in like 2005. How old am I? I don't know. So that guy worked there for several months, and then I'm pretty sure he either went to Blizzard for story writing, or he went to Wizards for story writing, which are both like, I mean, that'd be the place if you like story driven games. I assume Wizards of the Coast is ridiculous. Same thing with Blizzard. But yeah, those also awesome. And I like the comment about the a little comment about the indie studio versus the AAA, because it's interesting to think about, like an indie studio you can work at that maybe they have 5 developers and they're trying to make this game, and then all of a sudden they get big and this is the most popular game of all time and everything gets crazy, and there's success and money and all that stuff that comes with that. But then you think about, what is that, 1 out of every 50 studios? So it's like there's a percentage game that you have to play with your career and your profession that's pretty interesting. You get to play a real life game.
Yeah.
But right, yeah. Okay, so let's shift gears just a little bit, and so there's a couple of topics I want to talk about that sort of involve the game world and how Twitch interacts with it. And I'm really interested to hear from the development side and how maybe you guys see it. And maybe you're in a position where you're just sort of developing the game, you're concentrating on that, and maybe the Twitch interaction part of it is more of a marketing, PR type thing. But I'm assuming that most of you are familiar at least with what Twitch is. And people vary on how much they actually watch Twitch, but Twitch is such a major part of game campaigns now, where they have to have certain personalities have to present certain games. I mean, we all know the biggest names in Twitch because they're like internet celebrities now, but those are people that big name companies seek out to, like, please play my game for the next 4 days straight. Is that, I guess, how do you guys see that in terms of moving forward in a career where maybe you get into a studio and you're working on a game and you're given sort of the role of, hey, how much attention do we pay to Twitch when it comes to marketing this game? Is that something we think about? Do you think about coding in something for Twitch users? Just being on the game development side, obviously that adds a development cost and time to your plan. Is it worth it? Because not all games do a Twitch interaction type of thing. What are your general ideas on how the game industry works with Twitch, I guess?
Well, just for a new game, like an indie studio, there's probably plenty of indie that their success is built on Twitch, I would imagine. Like 80 or 90% of their sales came from people finding out about their game on Twitch.
Yeah.
I think you'd be crazy not to try and reach out to somebody that's got a lot of subscribers and followers and see if they'd be interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's going to be like even bigger. Like AAA studios are doing stuff like sponsoring videos. I'm sure Epic has sponsored millions of people for Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
Millions.
I think they just push all their money to Ninja. I don't think they sponsor anybody else.
Definitely after Fortnite happened, now the studios pay more attention to that, because basically Fortnite got so big just from Twitch, Ninja, all the streamers, and yeah, I think companies nowadays pay more attention to that side too.
There's also, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say I haven't seen a lot of the games that have integration in Twitch. Like, what kind of stuff have you seen that they actually have integrated? Like, how would the game integrate itself?
So there's some kind of API. I'm not on the development side, so I don't know about it. But I know the games that do have it, two in particular. One is called Slay the Spire, which is a card game. It's like a roguelike card game. And I played a little bit on my show. But it has a Twitch interaction where the community can vote on the cards you pick to put in your deck. So that's like the super base level. So there's like a options that pop up on the screen. It's like enter 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it pushes text to the chat that says, okay, type in chat 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the card that you'll take. That one that's okay in terms of interaction. It's a little strange because it slows down the game a lot because you have to wait for the chat to kind of push in all their votes. But the best one I've seen, and it's been one of my favorite games on this show, is called Dead Cells, and it's made by a company called Motion Twin.
Yeah,
for sure.
That game is really good.
Oh my god, I love that game. And I just met with them at TwitchCon actually in a month ago. But their Twitch interaction is like the best I've ever seen. So basically, when you start the game, the chat can become who they call Captain Chicken, and it's like this. They call it Captain Chicken, but it's a pigeon that flies behind you. So I don't know. It's funnier to me that it's not actually a chicken. So they, but the thing can heal you. So the chat can type heal or food or something, and it'll heal you in the game. And then when you get to a boss, the chat can type boss, and then someone is selected, and then they can cast boss abilities from the chat. It's really cool. Like there's a set of like 4 extra boss abilities, and when whoever the boss is in the chat types in like fireball or no rain, it'll rain these like comets down on the screen, and the player has to dodge the comets. So it's like an extra added difficulty. And trust me, Dead Cells is so hard that when I got to the final boss and someone's trying to be the boss on me, like I had to turn Twitch integration off because I already can't beat the game.
Yeah, that game is real challenging.
Yeah, but that game is the best interaction I've seen yet, and I know there's many more, and companies are looking at it closer now because Dead Cells has had a lot of success with people using Twitch interaction. I know some big name streamers that play it quite a bit that have, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people that'll get involved in the Twitch interaction. It's really cool. But yeah, I don't know how you would do it in. I've never seen it cross over to a AAA title. I've never seen, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't have Twitch interaction because it's, I mean, it's kind of a single player game anyways, I guess. But like, you know, Black Ops doesn't have, hey, go pick up this gun, or the chat hit something and your grenades explode. They don't have that, although that would be hilarious. But yeah, so it's almost like an indie studio. It's weird to think about. Like an indie studio might use the Twitch interaction to better promote their game because they know they can get more people pushed into a channel to contribute to the Twitch interaction, which increases the promotion of that game type of thing. But yeah, it's a really cool, like the game industry and the Twitch industry are so tied together now, especially like you were mentioning after Fortnite and all the crazy success that game has had. That now it's like, I bet that Twitch is on, you know, the top 1-2 social marketing things they have to do when it starts getting time to promote a game. Because some of these guys, I mean, when you look at, I mean, I guess I don't know Ninja because Fortnite came out and has been out, but there hasn't been any new releases. But when there's new releases of other Battle Royale games, I mean, you know the top names that get them 4 weeks early. Those guys are playing them immediately, you know, alpha phase, trying to build up hype for the games. There's, we had an interesting talk in one of my communities as well about how sometimes when streamers are presented with an opportunity to promote a game or play it early, they're also presented with documentation that states that there won't be any negative feedback about the game, which is a little bit of a dicey situation, but it kind of makes sense as well. As a developer, do you guys, like, I could see wanting to avoid any negative press coming from the marketing side, but as a developer, would you guys think almost like, yeah, please tell us what's wrong with the game because then we'll fix it and make it better? Like, is that how you guys would see it? Or would you still say, no, let's say positive things so the game sells better, if that's what happens?
That probably depends on whether or not, like, if it's just you hire the livelihood, you could make a decision like that, but it's really disingenuous to try and tell them, don't have an honest opinion. Like, just if you have good positive things, just say those. Like, I would for sure want somebody to be honest. That would be paramount above my feelings or anything else.
Yeah, that yeah, and it seems like it adds to a more honest approach by the company as well as the streamer. And I think that some of those companies that send out those documents to say stuff like that are the same companies that aren't invited back to be a part of campaigns like that. They a lot of streamers will turn away from that pretty quickly. But yeah, it must be tough in a situation where if some development's not going right. For instance, if you guys are working on a game and this game you made is about to be released to, you know, the world or something, and there's some kind of cost that the publisher needs to recoup, I could see there being kind of hey, we need to make our money back, or people might lose their jobs. Like, there's a weird situation in there that I guess needs to be considered.
Yeah.
So next, we mentioned Fortnite. The biggest by the way, I don't play Fortnite. I play it once in a while with my brother. That's about the extent of my knowledge of the game. But in terms of trends in gaming, Battle Royale is like the trend of the last year. What, as developers and as things you guys see there, and you guys obviously talk to other developers and have kind of a closer relationship with the game studio than kind of the average person in terms of, hey, we're coming up with ideas that, you know, could be games on any platform. What do you guys feel is either the current trend where it's going? Do you think Battle Royale is going to die? Do you see a trend coming that might take that over? What do you think?
I think that definitely there is a life expectancy. I think Battle Royale games they'll still be making them years and years and years from now, but I think the crazy popularity of them will probably wane in the next few years. Because basically with the AAA game studios coming out with their version of it, like, it's going to make a lot of indie game studios, like, unless you've got some crazy different idea that you're going to throw in there, like, you're not going to be able to do it as well as Activision or Ubisoft or any of those people.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think.
That's pretty much it.
Is there any, I don't know of any other trend? It seems like though, honestly, because like in the last year, I remember one of the EA executives saying that they're not going to make single player games because they're dying off. But it seems like this year there's been just a crap ton of single player games that have come out. Like almost all of the Game of the Year games for the Video Game Awards are single player games. I think maybe that would be something that's going to be prevalent, but I don't know. That's just me as a gamer.
Yeah, that's a good point because a lot of the games that win those awards are single players. I think maybe for the last, like, wasn't last year like The Last of Us maybe won a bunch of awards, and then, or maybe that was 2 years ago. But games like that and like Red Dead, I mean, that's right up there with like the top games of the year already. But yeah, so that's a good point. Single player games are winning those awards, but the people that decide the designs and the publishing cadence of game companies are saying, we could publish a single player game and then we'll win a bunch of awards. But unless I can melt that award down and get like $200 million out of it, that's not worth it to me. Like I could see an executive that has shareholders to answer to thinking like that. Whereas they could say, let's make, I don't know, let me just pick something at random. Like Diablo Mobile, maybe. Let's say they make something like that. And then they could say, you know what? And then we'll put the black market auction house back in that, and you can use your phone to purchase gear and things. That could make them way more money, even though that game will win no awards. That's kind of a weird and unfortunate side effect of being a commercial business, right? Like at some point you answer to shareholders or you don't have a company kind of thing. So I actually sometimes wonder if it's like you hear a lot of times actors do like actors will do a famous, like a blockbuster movie that's kind of crappy and does bad but makes $500 million. And then the next movie they do is like their award-winning Oscar movie. I wonder if it's like that with the creative people at studios where they say, okay, fine, we'll do one game like Diablo Mobile that'll appease all the Activision shareholders, and then we'll go back and make Diablo 4. That's for us and our hardcore gamers. Something like that. I wonder if that's probably a trade-off they do.
I'm sure it is.
Probably has to
Yeah,
be.
I would assume so.
I mean, I think that Rockstar is probably the smartest people. They found a way to do something that's pushed the entire industry forward, but also forward off from that and be able to have recurrent monetization in a way that people don't feel just immediately like you have to buy this. Like they have found a way to do what everybody wants to do, like make art and a crap ton of money.
Right.
Like
And
maybe that's the better way to go.
you're talking about the way to make money is like GTA and the stuff inside of GTA. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, for like GTA Online, like they have a
Yeah.
full single player game that is great and is one. I think that's one of the most highest selling games, Tetris or something.
Yeah, it's really high.
It sold like 90 million copies since it came out. It's been a long time,
Yeah.
but they found a way to like do both somehow, to like make something that's gonna like make the little indie movie that you're proud of and wins awards, but also fork off in this other direction and make something that will never end and will be making money continuously for the entire time you have it active. Like to do both of them, I think is a better way because you build a reputation with your community. Like people respect that you're still trying to make art and not just like, all right, well, we can cut out the part that is art so that we can put in the monetization or something. Like I know everybody's a business, but most companies don't look at that other side of it. They keep making concessions until you have this hybrid of like, it's almost pushing the industry forward, but it's mostly about making money.
Right. Which is why then you see a company like, Naughty Dog, they did The Last of Us, right? And I think they did Uncharted, and I forget their other titles exactly, but they are a company that seems to be mostly in it for making a quality single player game and not necessarily caring about microtransactions or anything. I may be forgetting a series of games they make that is all of that. I don't know if that exists. It might be, but maybe there are companies that still kind of do that and sort of bleed that edge of we kind of have enough money to do whatever we want, but maybe we could be doing more, but they're staying on the creative side for the gamers, and maybe that allows Blizzard to do something, and we keep picking on Diablo Mobile because that's the easy thing, but like maybe making that mobile game allows them to make the game they want to make and sort of push. Maybe they come out with a new MMO that replaces WoW. Maybe they make a new Diablo that will be awesome. But do you think they've built up such a rapport with their customers and such a fan base that is really, they make quality games? Obviously, all the Blizzard titles are amazing. But so they've built up enough loyalty points kind of with their base where they're like, yeah, we can get away with one crap game and then we'll come back with something awesome.
I think that's exactly what they were anticipating.
Because I know that a lot of my friends that went to BlizzCon and a lot of my fellow streamers went, and they were. I mean, there's a lot of memes about how the Diablo mobile stations were all empty, which is actually not the case. There was a lot of people playing those games, but they kind of felt the same thing. They were disappointed they went, and that's all they heard about. But they were saying like, yeah, but if you think about it, maybe this gives their developers another year to focus even more on Diablo 4 or even more on some unnamed WoW project like Titan that it eventually turned into Overwatch or whatever, but now maybe it's something new. So that'll be interesting to see what they come back with. I really think that Blizzard will have to announce something pretty huge at the next BlizzCon, otherwise it might be a problem. But I don't think that company's going anywhere anytime soon.
Definitely
Not at all.
This has been an awesome talk. I love chatting with you guys about this stuff. Let me see if I have other stuff down here. And it's funny because I wrote in my notes other topics to talk about, and one of them was paying fan service versus going in a new direction, which we just talked about. Let me think of the trends. I think we pretty much covered everything. At this point, I think we should go check out the game.
Okay.
I got the controllers working, so we're good. So the game they made I told you about is called Dario Fiesta. It's like Mario Party. It takes two controllers. I have both of the controllers, so I will play it here. Oh, that was a question I was going to ask you. Did you guys, is it built to be like Mario Party where the party plays like in the room, or was it ever conceived like we're going to make a networking game? Because I remember when I was going to school, networking was the worst part of the program.
Yeah, we quickly realized we're probably not going to do networking. We want to do.
I don't think any of us want to be networker programmers.
It cost our money.
And
And
then
then we
we said
remembered
no.
the networking class immediately. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Networking was super hard when I was there too. I didn't like that. That's like, I hope that when you go to a game company, you start making a game, it's like, okay, we have the networking already built. I'm just going to plug that in here, and then my game is working because I'm not dealing with it besides that.
That's the way to do it.
Okay, let's switch modes here. And by the way, thank you for the chat right now. When we go to the next screen, it's just going to be gameplay and your guys' titles will be up there, but there'll be no video on the screen. So you guys are free to jump off video if you want. If you want to stay on voice, that's great too. But there'll be a little bit of delay on the gameplay, just so you're aware, because it's like a 30 seconds behind, I think.
That's
So-
understandable.
We're going to check out the game. Give me a second to set it up, and I'll be right back.
All right.
And by a second, I meant literally a second.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let me go to where's my Dario Fiesta? Okay. This is, can you see that? Awesome. This is the game they made. I need information about those splash titles. I don't know if I can turn up the game sound. Let me see. So what was with the spherical thing? Was that one of you guys in that picture, and then one of you yelling it's spherical on that?
I did that. Spherical. That was actually an image of Josh from the show Breaking Josh when he got his game too, and was like really excited about having beer. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's a parody from the GameCube.
Okay. Then you guys, you did the I Cry at Night thing, which I really like, by the way. And I saw the other version too, which I also like that. But I understand. I was looking through the game files. The
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
there's,
yeah, everything's there.
there's two versions in there. I liked it. It
on
was
the code and started changing it.
He's got the baby shark.
It was very funny. Before we look at the game, just a reminder that the guys that are on the voice right now are the names you see in the top left. So you can see their contact information up there. You can send them an email or whatever you'd like to do. Full Sail is the school they go to. That's, hang on a second. Nope. Up there. So you can see it up there on the top of the screen. That's the school they go to. You could type in a command that sort of looks like this in the chat to find out more information about the school. That's where I graduated from. That's where these guys are going to. And 3 of them graduate like in 5 days. Okay, Dario Fiesta is like Mario Party. Let's play this game. How do I push start? Okay. So I went to the how to play
Oh my
earlier.
God. Oh man. Yeah,
What?
all the UI is gonna be messed up because of the resolution stuff.
Oh,
It's gonna be weird.
can I switch it? How do I do that?
I'm not.
If
Is your
it's not maximized or something?
is your desktop? Do you have like the zoomed in icons or something?
Is that better?
It's just gonna be weird. It's sad
Yeah.
that it's gonna be like that, but it's fine.
I can
We'll
switch
tell
off
you.
of 2556. I mean, I'm running at 1440 and 2560. Do you want me to switch down to like 1920 or something?
That might help.
Yeah,
I
that
think
would
that's
probably
probably.
Let me try that.
Yeah, it's definitely rough around the edges.
Let me see. What am I on? Number 1? Display adapter properties. No, that's not how I do this. What's it? 1920 by 1080 is base, right? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I think that should.
Hopefully my refresh rate doesn't get crazy. I think we should be okay though. Better?
You might have to start the game.
Oh, okay. Let me try that. Oh god, everything's so huge. Where did I put it? Game files. Scroll down. Dario
Oh, yeah,
Fiesta.
So hopefully when it restarts, it's better.
Oh, GP Games. What is that?
That's the Full Sail Game Project Games, I think. It's like the Full Sail logo for Capstone.
Okay, got it. Ah, okay, this looks better. I see what happened. Let me switch over my my OBS is picking up in 2556. Give me 1 sec. There's gonna be a black screen for a moment.
Awesome.
And this comes back to here. And that should pick up in a moment. There. Better.
The home sheet's so huge.
Okay. So let's go to play. This is the game. You can make characters. I switched between my guys earlier. They look kind of neat.
Oh, that's Sebastian made all of those himself.
Oh, really? I like the one with the bombs. I want to be that one for this guy. And then this guy will be Fancy Guy.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, okay. We'll be Tuxedo. This is James Bond. We'll be him. Okay, so again, this is like Mario Party. So if you imagine Mario Party, this is that game. Press A to lock your style, bro. I think I did. Oh, there we go.
It might be on there. I'm sure it's on the stream.
Okay. I roll. Press start to begin. Ah, there we are. So there is. Oh yeah, this looks. It's funny. Earlier I was playing on 250 or 2560, and the text was like behind other things. This looks way better on 1920.
Definitely see that.
This looks awesome. So you can pan around the area. I did this a little earlier. I kind of like the way the water looks in that, because I know from my time developing that water was like really hard to code. So I kind of like that it's pixely like this. It adds to the aesthetic of it, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely just it's just like the ground basically. And we made it fairly easy.
I like it. It's like, it almost reminds me of like, I mean, obviously Mario Party, but there's like a Temple Run feel to this, that mobile game.
Oh yeah.
So then I walk, and I think it goes to the other guy's turn, and then there's a mini game like after this, I think, or something like that.
After both people.
Okay, cool. Left stick team. Oh, is this the one with the balloons? I did this one earlier. It's awesome. So I'm playing on 2 controllers right now because it's like a local multiplayer game. If my daughter was home, she would be playing with me. Let's do this. Okay, I think I'm ready. Start. Oh God, I didn't do this one before. I don't know what this is. Okay, I'm shooting balloons. Let me get some points with this guy. It's funny, in my SGD was the name of the class, I think, where you make the game initially. In that game, we made Final Fantasy VI, but it was in like a Resident Evil world, and we had a little bit of a mini game, kind of like this, where you had to shoot zombies. Oh god, the balloons attached to each other.
Yeah, they're,
Yeah, that's a little buggy on that.
he says it's static.
Yeah, they're static.
It's not. It's not.
Oh, I kind of like that they did that. Yeah, it does look like static. That's what I would think. You shouldn't have said anything. It looks perfect.
All intended.
So what are the there's like a balloon and an X next to my guys. I see the score. But what does the balloon mean? Or is that just
That's
like
just
the
how
mini game?
Like how many balloons you've shot.
Oh, balloon X, balloon times. Okay. Ha ha ha. Got it.
Yeah. I should have made those X smaller. I did like basically like almost all the UI, and that was one of the things I was supposed to go back and do, and I just never got around.
So would you guys suggest looping here? Because I think that was an option. Yeah. I'm gonna go leave.
Oh yeah, to explore the rest of the island. That'd probably be good.
Someone in the chat wants to know where the battle royale mode is. Is that in one of the?
That's DLC.
It'll be in March.
It's
Yeah, that's
DLC.
DLC with the
DLC.
microtransactions.
You pay actually in V-Bucks to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this is the one I did with a balloon fight. Let me do that.
Oh, the one-
Player 2, what I gotta do? Have to do something?
I think you would just be selecting who you're challenging for the duel.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I got you. So you
if
can.
if you had all 4 players, the other 3 players would show up, and you could select who to
Yes,
play against.
the bomb guy won. I like that the other one is very dejected that he lost. And all wet. Do you guys get to play each other's games throughout the process, or do you only get to play like when the final build is done? Or are you just kind of like friends with the other people in the class, so you just play their game whenever?
Yeah, we've pretty much just kind of like walked around and seen how they're doing, and they've shown us. We haven't actually like sat down to play.
The are the mini games based on the location that I'm on the map?
They were supposed to be, but currently not. They probably will be after next month.
So I get 1 point for hitting the big ones? Oh, because they're easier to hit. And then I get 3 points for hitting the baby ones. I got it. You need to make this like Duck Hunt and get gun support with it.
The Wii Remote support is coming next month.
Oh, nice. The I need like a hot stick controller, like I'm playing Elite Dangerous or something, or Star Citizen. Star Citizen, the game that will be out maybe when I'm dead.
Yeah, I would be super interested to play it, but I downloaded it on my computer.
Oh god, get him! Yes, Bomb Guy won. I don't know which one's Bomb Guy. I just know that I think it's a white controller as Bomb Guy.
Is he talking about Yuri?
Oh, okay, yeah. Water War is. Oh, cool. Okay, so I definitely need to select only one player. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, yeah, I like it. I need to white one.
This is.
Yeah, the water war is it's the dual tile. So if you land on the purple tiles that are around the board, it will trigger a dual mini game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then still after all players have taken their turn, it will trigger a mini game.
Gotcha. Oh, I don't think I played this one. Smash. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, that one we're definitely gonna do a little bit more work
Oh.
on.
What? What button do I press? I think I'm doing something.
Oh, you took away the whole thing. He doesn't even.
It's
I won! Bomb Guy won!
Yeah, but not on the minigame screen. Oh, it's not on. Okay. Bomb guy always wins.
Oh, okay, so the player tile up there is indicating which games I've won.
Yeah, your
Yes.
badges. So basically, you need to get, there's 3 badges, and once you've won all 3 mini, You'll have all.
Uh-huh. You, oh, right. Okay, cool. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear the background music. It's very, like a conga thing. Oh, I played this one earlier. I love this one. Although, I think, okay, so now I see that pattern on the thing, and then I have to match it, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And I have to do it on the other one. And then, does it tell me how I've done? Oh, I matched it on both. Okay, cool.
wow.
So there's a score that the bottom right, you'll get a point.
I'm gonna purposely mess up on the blue guy. Oh, I like that it's tracking that and then showing what you picked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was not looking at that one at all. I don't know what.
I think that all of them you get double points for that one.
Bomb guy's catching up.
Oh, that's you, the turtles.
I don't know if I picked that right or not. I'm guessing no. Oh, look at that. He's killing the game. Oh, I won. Yes. Awesome. Is there a mini game that what happens if I loop? Oh, I thought I saw something in the, whoa, Steam, get out of here. I thought I saw something in the how to play about a, oh, I see. Maybe if I would have read the rules, I would know what the tiles do. I thought I read something about like an energy drink. Is that a thing that's in the game?
That is on the score tile.
That's on the what? I missed that.
The blue tiles.
Oh, okay, cool.
If you have enough coins and you are passing on the blue tile, you can purchase things to take. You get double points in the movie.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like double points or whatever it is, or triple points or something like that. The let me switch guys for this round. Be purple Mario. Is this Wario?
Yeah.
I'll be Wario, and that's Toad. Okay. And Wario will fight Skull and Crossbones. This is awesome, by the way. I know how much work it goes into games like this is pretty intense, especially for 4 months. But you guys did a good job. The
It's
super.
definitely been an experience.
What's that?
So it's definitely been quite an experience doing
Yeah.
all this. I mean, at the very least, I'm just proud that we have something that like has a beginning, middle, like, and it's got it's got all the parts of the game. Like, we can definitely tweak it and with like each mini game and like the rules and maybe even how much bank stuff costs. But like, if you'd have told me 4 months ago that we would even have this done, I would have been like, nah, that's probably not gonna happen.
I think I won the game.
Already? Oh, did he have the reset thing put in there? Did you not do the reset thing? Oh yeah, so that's a bug.
That's all right. Let me load it back up and we'll play one more time. What was this next one? Pretendo. Is that just a joke, or is that like a part of like you have a mini studio or something that's called that?
That is
Another
just
joke.
joke.
Okay, cool.
We're all about jokes.
What? Get off this show. No, I'm just kidding. I'm super excited to hear how the that expo goes. When is that again? That's Monday?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
Monday.
Are you guys, in terms of the stuff you have left to do, is there anything you're sort of nervous about coming up? Like, not a lot of people don't like presenting in general. But is there something that's like, I don't know if we're going to be able to, be straight for this meeting or this milestone or anything like that? I assume this is the final build, so you're done with that. So is that like the hardest part is out of the way already, so you're good?
The only thing left is right after we're done with this, we have the presentation for the rest of the final project students. So that's really the only nervous thing.
Oh,
After
right,
that,
yeah.
done.
Yeah, at 3 o'clock, right? And then you're just sort of like, that's, as soon as you're done with that, then it's let's go get some beers and chill out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or Cokes. I mean, it could be Cokes.
Sure. Yeah. It'll probably be beer.
That's, yeah, this is awesome. Again, if you guys are interested in I mean, speaking more to viewers, I thought I had that balloon on me for a second.
We can't even see the game.
Oh, what the hell? Why did someone tell me?
Yeah, I didn't know if maybe it
Yeah,
was just our
it's just-
computer or what.
Yeah, I just want to sit here and talk to myself. You guys look at a black screen for a while.
It's still loading.
I wasn't sure what was going on.
Let me see if this one works. That's desktop. Let me go back to this one.
There we go. Oh, goodness.
It's switching quickly because I'm switching back to a different resolution stuff. See if that comes up. That's all right. Let's go back to display for now. And we'll just deal with it in this kind of a smaller screen. And fit. There you go. Done. Okay, so now that you guys can see what I'm doing.
Sad Mario. Or Dario, sorry.
Yeah, it's dark.
It's Dario.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Dario, Luigi. Luigi.
I kind of want to get to the other side of the map, but I keep winning too fast.
Yeah.
Although I guess I could choose to not leave at the beginning and probably circle back that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
You can go. You can go backwards and forwards on the. So there's the 3 areas that have the loops in them, and those are only one direction. But on the transitions between the loops, you can go backwards and forwards.
Oh, okay, cool. The so, anyways, like I started to say before, I realized that my game is not broadcasting. The if you are watching and interested in this program, this happens every Friday. And these guys here, their contact information is at the top of the screen. So if you are interested in chatting with them for whatever reason, that information is there. And I invite you to do so. Or take their information and put it in your Rolodex for when they become community manager of Bethesda or Casino Royale Studios.
Also, if you're trying to hand out game development jobs, that'd be a great thing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, these guys are definitely the next wave of game developers in the industry. So obviously those emails are there for you if you are that person looking for new people. I actually know some people in the Orlando area that do that.
Yeah, I know EA's got a lot of stuff around here. And not just them, too. There's a lot of companies.
Okay, what? Okay, here we go. Let me go with this one. I think I was blue last time and won this. Let me put some points on here.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think. Are you gonna set it up to where the
Yeah,
actual area? Because right now it's just random. So you could play for like 30 minutes, and just depending on RNGesus, you might not ever get the third mini game.
Oh, okay. What is the third one? Did I play that one? The water one, the balloon one, the mixing one,
Yeah.
And the rhythm mode.
and the bongos. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's I don't mind playing this one a bunch of
We
times.
played about 30 minutes earlier and only had 2 of our mini games ever pop up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the longest game session of that we've ever had.
That the generator seed or whatever is bad. It needs to be refreshed, or whatever it is. I don't remember code.
Yeah.
So I think did Wario just win? Oh no, we got one each. Okay. So the information's there. You can also shout about the program on Twitter if you like, and that will be there for you. And obviously, there's Full Sail contact information as well. You can put in the Full Sail command at any time. See the program these guys are graduating from. The program that I graduated from as well. I think. Yeah, I guess it's the same. Although when I graduated, the program I took was way more like what you guys are doing, the development one. We didn't do any just design stuff. And it was a nightmare. Just kidding. It was really fun. The design program was good. And actually, I was talking about this yesterday. There's speaking of who you know in the industry being what's important for jobs. Most of the I do a couple of different shows during the week. One of them is about streaming and helping content creators on Twitch. And it has a lot to do with careers and things like that. But we talk a lot about networking and sort of who you know in the industry to further yourself in Twitch, but as well as in the professional world. And the same goes for the game industry, I assume. And when I graduated, I remember there was a guy that I graduated with that was in my final project group looking for, oh, my controller is rumbling. I didn't know I guess the Xbox ones do that, not the Logitech ones.
Oh yeah.
So I was able to get him a job at the studio I was at the contractor I was at, just sort of knowing him from school and recommending him to come in and take an interview. So definitely keep those contacts. Both of your, I mean, you guys know, but both of your classmates, but you know, your professors as well and all that kind of stuff. Anyone you meet, pretty much anyone on Twitch, anyone anywhere. You never want to burn bridges with anybody because you never know when someone's gonna be able to help you out.
From like day one from Full Sail, they're telling like networking is the biggest thing that they keep telling you to do. And there's all these events. It's really shoved down your throat. Like you need to network like every day.
Yeah, that's actually a really good information and a really good suggestion from them. I know at things like TwitchCon and different conferences, it's a lot to do with that as well. The whole conference is kind of interesting, but it's really just kind of a mini E3 in some ways. They're marketing things to Twitch streamers. But a majority of the business growth you can get from there is just meeting the people that also stream, coming up with collaborations, hearing where they're from. Because then in random conversation might be, hey, you know, I have a friend that works in this industry and he's looking for people to staff or something like that. Are you interested in a job? Like, bam, then you're done. So yeah, the networking aspect is really great. Do they offer like networking events, you were saying? Like in the Orlando area, you can go to like
Well, they hold them. They actually hold them on campus. There's a lot of them. They even have like, it's not really a job fair, but it basically was like a development job fair. There was a bunch of different companies and people lining up with their resumes. They got all kind of crazy stuff they do.
Wow, that's so awesome. I don't remember that when I graduated there, although maybe I wasn't paying attention. I don't remember, but I don't remember that. That's fantastic though. Do they have mostly game? Do they have like game industry people that'll come down there? Like EA shows up, or is it other? Do they do software firms will come down as well?
They definitely do both. I think wasn't it one of them?
Someone from Bethesda showed up one time. It was like a headhunter from Bethesda, I think.
Oh, Jesus.
Something
I can't remember his name, but he was just kind of talking about what life was like working for Bethesda. He said he was like, I can't really go into specifics.
Right. Yeah.
To be honest, since we've been here, they bring people in from the industry. We've met somebody from id that came and spoke with us, from Insomniac Games, and from Magic League. Like they bring people in, and like you actually, if you make a good contact with them, that could be, you need to network with them as well, I guess. We got to meet some pretty cool people.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely don't remember that, but that's so awesome to hear that the school is doing that now, because it definitely helps the students. When a lot of times, especially in the game design world and the engineering world in general, there's a stigma of sort of an introverted personality where, you know, some people may not be comfortable going out and making those contacts. So it's great that the school tries to step in and be like, hey, all you gotta do is come down to the Full Sail Live or wherever they put them, you know what I mean, and say hello.
I think now, because there's a lot more Full Sail graduates out in the wild, they can just call these companies, and people they know that graduated from Full Sail, and they're more than willing to come back and speak with them.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, in my case as well, I said the same thing to Haifa, if I'd be happy to come down there and talk. Not from my Twitch success, right? But like more like my professional career and sort of what happened after that. But yeah, that's awesome that they do that stuff. And I believe I heard that you guys have dorms now, which we did not have when I went there. Or some kind of like you're able to stay on campus or something like that.
If they have that, I don't know about it.
I mean,
Oh, I thought that
Maybe
that's
that's
what
what
they said.
Maybe they do. I'm not sure because we've been head down in the game. They might have. There's probably all kinds of stuff that we're not.
Oh, okay. No dorms on campus. Oh, okay. I guess I misheard that. I thought there was something about being able to stay on campus, but that might have been some miscommunication. I was talking to Haifa and Tom. Because yeah, we had to stay off campus when we were there too, and it wasn't bad. It was fine. But I mean,
Yeah.
the Full Sail campus had Wendy's across the parking lot, and Jesus Christ, I think we ate Wendy's every single day for like 2 years. Is that Wendy's still there? Is it the biggest Wendy's of all time?
It's all the drive-through is always super.
Yeah, I tell you that Wendy's is the best. That and Costco was right around the corner. $2 lunches.
Oh wow. We should have went to Costco.
Yeah, I'm telling you. We had someone in our group had a Costco membership. We went there every day. You could get a hot dog, a pizza, and a drink for like $2. It's awesome.
Definitely do that.
It's too late now. You're almost done.
It's our last day.
we're going to lunch at Costco. I'm trying to finish this balloon game. I don't know if there's anything else we really have to finish up. I'm super happy that you guys agreed to come on the show. Thank you so much. I love talking, especially about the game development process, lessons learned. That's a big part of this show in general, in sort of all the different segments we have, is lessons learned in all aspects of stuff. Because, I mean, the easiest way to avoid mistakes is to hear about someone else making them. You know what I mean? Take a different path. So that's it's awesome to hear about game. You know, obviously every industry has it, and it's good to hear the game industry sort of acknowledges that as well, and you guys are using that to sort of move forward. But yeah, let's close this for now because I don't think I'll ever beat myself in this game.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Their information is here. If for some reason after this show is done, you go, oh crap, I didn't forgot to write down their information. You send me a DM. You come on Discord, I'll give it to you. I have it all here. Thank you. I can't say thank you enough to you guys for being on the show. I'm sorry you're not currently on the screen. You can pretend that they're Dario is who you guys are looking at. I hope that the expo goes awesome next week and your presentations today go well. I think that I'm leaving you guys with enough time. You got about an hour and a half, right, to get to the presentation?
We got plenty of time.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So go eat some drive-through Wendy's and and get ready. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us, for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
thank you.
I'll be in contact with you guys just to follow up stuff, see how everything's going, and maybe there's contact type stuff we can pass back and forth. But
Oh, awesome.
thank you, and I will talk to you guys a little bit later.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Let me let me go back to the chat program. Guys, that was Fresh Dev Friday. I could not be happier with how that went. Thank you for checking out the show today. Or the beginnings of the show. The beginnings of the segment. I don't know what happened to my screen. I can't apparently rotate back and forth. So those guys were great. I hope that if you're interested in contacting them to at least, and we talked about it previously, we talked about it for a couple of weeks leading up to this show. There's many aspects of the show. I'm just going to reiterate some of the reason we're doing the show. Number one is to obviously highlight the good work that Full Sail does with their students. Number two is to give the students a chance to show off the game on a platform that is pretty important to the game industry moving forward. So to kind of get the students accustomed to that, but also show off, really hard work and sort of discuss some of their lessons learned and where they've come from. Another part of the show is for